and he didn't make it. And I think his failure to take his oath was something critical, in the sense that my personal belief was that if Vice President Tolentino was able to take his oath, then things would be different.
Ang inauguration ni Marcos ay pinakitang live sa Channel 9 na nooy nasa kamay pa ng mga tauhan niya. Subalit bago pa man napasumpa si Marcos ni Supreme Court Chief Justice Ramon Aquino,
all of a sudden, poof, we disappeared on the air.
We have had some technical problems, so...
Binaril na pala ng mga rebeldeng sundalo ang transmission tower ng Channel 9. Itinuloy ni Marcos ang seremonya at pagkatapos nagpakita siya kasama ng kanyang pamilya sa mga natitira pa nilang taga-suporta. Walang kamalay-malay mga tinaguriang Marcos loyalists na nagdesisyon na palang umalis sa Malacanang ang kanilang Pangulo at ang kanyang pamilya.
And I did not even bother to ask saan sila pupunta, because up to the time I left Malacanang and before I read the papers the following morning or heard over radio, it was my impression that they were going to Hawaii, to Poway.
And in the end, I think he was convinced by me and by a number of other people, some calling from the States, etc., that he owed it to his grandchildren and his children to leave. So I offered him 3 options. I said, you can, if the streets are clear, we will bring you out by car and to the airport and fly you out. Or we will send a boat up the Pasig River and bring you out. Or we will send helicopters in and bring you out. So I turned then to my principal military advisors, the commander at Subic, the commander at Clark, and the head of JUSMAG, General Teddy Allen. And they put together an operational plan within just a couple of hours. And Marcos indicated he wanted to come out by helicopter, but he also wanted to bring some things down the Pasig River by boat. So we set that up, and I said, go ahead, and we did it, and it worked.
My husband and I had misgivings because, you know, the Americans had to come down and bring them out. I mean, like, it was like, oh no, there they go again. I mean, when are we ever going to do things by ourselves?
First of all, we didn't precipitate the revolution. We didn't mount a coup against Marcos. What I think we did do constructively was try to create some political space in which Filipinos could resolve this problem. And then I think it was right for us, given our past relationship with Marcos, and given our concern about the Philippines, to take him out, to help him get away. And I know Corazon Aquino was very grateful for that. She did not want to have to deal with Marcos in the palace, or Marcos dead, or Marcos taking refuge in Ilocos. When we took him out by helicopter, I had told her in advance we were going to do that, and she approved that.
Tito Jim, nasan po kayo noon nang umalis na ng Malacanang sina Marcos?
I was at Channel 4, and I'll never forget June Keithley making that historic announcement.
It is confirmed Mr. Marcos has left this country. I guess it seems like we waited for this forever. And it certainly took a long time coming. And there have been so many heroes, yes. And we've said this over and over again all these days.
Nang umalis si Marcos, itinuloy ng taong bayan ang kanilang pagpepiesta sa loob mismo ng Malacanang.
Nako, Tito Jim, napaka-dramatic pala ng mga pangyayari. Parang pelikula.
Ganyan din ang tingin ng marami. Pero kung pelikula nga, ang tanong ay, sino ang direktor?
how this thing happened, I cannot explain. I cannot explain. But surprisingly, it's just like a jigsaw puzzle that fitted perfectly.
Yung EDSA 1986 ay palaging tinitingnan ni Cardinal Sin mula sa pananaw ng Marian Year of 1985. Sapagkat noong mga panahong yon, 2 years pagkatapos patayin si Ninoy Aquino, litong-lito ang bayan at wala na talagang mapanghahawakan. Kasabay noon ang 2000th birthday ng Blessed Virgin Mary. At pagkatapos ng closing ng Marian Year ng December 8, pag-uwi namin sa Villa San Miguel, paulit-ulit niyang sinasabi sa akin, you will see, something will happen. Something will happen.
When I look at EDSA again, it's the miracle of God and the people in prayer.
So, Tito, milagro nga po ba ang nangyari sa EDSA noong 1986?
Pakinggan na lang natin ang isa nating tagakwento.
When we say miracle, we don't mean that somehow God stepped in like that and automatically no. Miracles take place primarily in our hearts. And we are never absolutely sure what the miracle was. Cardinal Sin very often referred to the miracle of EDSA as a miracle happening in hundreds of thousands of hearts.
Well, Bianca, I hope that answers your question.
I think so, Tito. Pero may isa pa akong tanong, na tanong din ng napakaraming kabataan tulad ko. 20 years after, ano bang kabutihan ng naidulot ng EDSA sa mga pangkaraniwang Pilipino?
I knew you were gonna ask that. Sa aming pagbabalik, ang mga sagot sa mga tanong na yan ni Bianca.
Tito Jim, isa yan sa pinaka-paborito kong kanta. Every time I hear it talaga, it makes me feel so good. Kayo po nagsulat niyan, di ba?
Believe it or not, I wrote it only in a matter of minutes. Tulad ng milyong-milyong Pilipino, inspired talaga ako after what happened at EDSA. It really made me proud to be a Filipino. As I wrote in the song, kay sarap pala maging Pilipino. And why not? After what we had done, we were admired by the whole world.
Look what happened in Eastern Europe. All these revolutions that you see that have, colors ascribed to them. Where did all of this start? It started in the Philippines. And I don't know that Filipinos really appreciate that enough.
So, as a way of inspiring a mass movement to overthrow authoritarianism and move us from a dark authoritarian age into our current age, more democratic age, people power was of incredible international significance.
Pero Tito, 20 years later and after 2 EDSAs, marami pa rin ang nagtatanong, lalong-lalo na kaming kabataan, may pagbabago bang talaga na naidulot sa ating lipunan ang EDSA? How come napakalaki pa rin ang agwat ng mayayaman at mahirap? Nariyan pa rin ang korupsyon at ang political situation natin ay napakagulo.